kung fu.
Welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have an action classic for you. In fact, I have one of the action classics in 1988's Die Hard, starring Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. This movie is one of the most iconic films of all time. It is on that Hall of Fame wall. It may be, and this might be me giving away what my overall thoughts on the movie is, but it's just, it may be one of the greatest, it may be the greatest action movie of all time, to be frank with you. This movie is a movie that I've kind of been pushing down the line to do an action classic on, because there are so many other movies that haven't really gotten a lot of shine, that don't have the spotlight, and don't have the, the reputation, just the glory that this film has. This movie made Bruce Willis. It is the movie that defines Bruce Willis's career. There are many, many movies that Bruce Willis has done, from Sixth Sense to Unbreakable. There are a lot of movies that Bruce Willis has been a part of that I have enjoyed and loved. But this is the movie. And this is also maybe the movie that is, I don't know if it's the defining movie of Alan Rickman's career because of his stint in the Harry Potter franchise. I do think that potentially there could be more people who know him from that. But as a filmophile, as someone who watches films, this is the movie to him, for me. This is an iconic film, and it's iconic for a reason, because the thing about the Die Hard movies and the thing about this movie at the time is, like many movies and films in the 80s, the 80s was such a... The thing that I actually find fascinating about the 80s and the filmmaking at this time is that so many people were is that there's so many franchises, so many movies, so many iconic things that were so good and they weren't supposed to be this big. And, from the Friday the 13th franchise to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, some people know about those stories, some people don't. The Rocky franchise, there are so many franchises in this 80s to late 70s time period that were not supposed to be what they became, that are these iconic movies to us now, but they weren't supposed to be that at the time. Case in point, Die Hard. Die Hard wasn't supposed to be what it became. It was supposed to be this movie. It was supposed to be the movie it was, but no one expected it to resonate or to be as good as it ended up being. At the time, you have to understand, action movies in the 80s were Arnold Schwarzenegger, they were Sylvester Stallone, they were Dolph Lundgren, they were Jean-Claude Van Damme. They were dudes who were chiseled out of fucking clay, just beefcake dudes who were just completely invincible. By the time they get to the end of the movie, they just got a scar, they just got a cut here. And I reviewed and don't get me wrong, I got no problem with all those movies. Hell, I reviewed a few of them, as you know. Enjoyed the hell out of a lot of them. But this movie, Die Hard, pioneered something that would kind of almost, I feel like revolutionized sounds a bit much, but it did, really. It revolutionized the idea of the everyman hero, of a guy who isn't perfect, who isn't invincible, struggling through the movie, but coming out on top in the end. The everyman hero who's just having a day, who's just overcoming obstacles to complete his goal. That is what this movie pioneered. And it was something that really hadn't been done at this point in time. It's something that's been done many times after this movie, including in the same franchise. But quite frankly, it was never done better than this movie. Even rewatching the movie, I have all these movies in my head, movies that have done similar things to Die Hard. And they've never truly, there have been movies and shows that I've watched that have kind of come close to that, but nothing has ever truly touched the the feeling of the struggle. Throughout the course of the movie, you feel John McClane's struggle. You feel John McClane like hesitancies in him just barely escaping situations by a thread. You feel him when he's fucking bleeding on the floor. You feel him when he's when he's panicking. Like, you feel everything he is going through because Bruce Willis plays him so human and so natural. John McClane feels like a real person that you could run into. And because of that, it makes this character one of the most relatable characters in any film ever. And because he's so relatable, you find yourself rooting for him, cheering for him, because he has that everyman, like, I would have a beer with this guy quality. And like I said, it's something that hasn't really been replicated before, in my opinion, like, to this extent. Like, I've seen it done, like I said, but no one's pulled it off this well. And you also have an amazing villain performance from Alan Rickman. And Alan Rickman, once again, another pioneer of sorts. Not that the British, like, mastermind character hadn't been done before. Yeah, that has been done. That's been done in plenty of things. It's been done in James Bond movies. It's been done in a bunch of movies before this one. But I do think Alan Rickman really became the face of it in this movie, because his Hans Gruber is so swarmy, is so superior. I don't know what they call it. He's just so higher than thou. He just speaks he's just going on. He goes on these speeches, and he just loves the sound of his own voice. He's so arrogant. He's so he's so self-centered, and the way he talks and the way he goes about it. But the thing that makes him scary, the thing that makes him an entertaining villain, is not only is his dialogue so good that you just want to listen to it, but also, he's cold-blooded. He's able to think on the fly. I mean, the first thing you see him do is blow a guy's brain. I mean, when he first comes on the scene, within 10 minutes, he blows a guy's brains out without batting an eye and just moves on like he's garbage. You realize this dude ain't to be fucked with. You realize this is a very smart, intelligent man who knows it. And you realize that, how is John going to overcome this? But the movie centers around, just to get into the story, around John McClane is a New York cop visiting his wife and kids in Los Angeles, because as it turns out, him and his wife are having a bit of struggles, which is another great thing to add, which is a cop thing in general in films, but at least this one was different. I even like that. The cop having a struggling marriage is by in action movies. It's by in all movies, to be perfectly honest. I've never watched a movie where a cop had I've never watched a movie or a show where a cop had a good marriage going on. It's kind of by the book. If you're a great cop, you can't have a great marriage. It's just how it works in movies and cinema. But I digress. The reason him and his wife are having trouble is because his wife actually blew up, got this big fancy job in LA, and he did not want to move to support her. In fact, he felt like her taking the job was a betrayal to him. So now they got this thing. I often say, two people who are business-oriented people who are career-oriented people, it can be difficult for that to work because someone has to be willing to give in order for both of you guys to do what you want to do. Someone has to be willing to give something. And he wasn't willing to give it. And so he goes to visit his wife at her new fancy job at, I think it's, was it Takayami? What the fuck was it called? Sorry, I always forget the name of it. Nakatomi. The Nakatomi Corporation building. And unfortunately for John, as he's visiting his wife at her job, the place is getting robbed by Hans Gruber and his merry men of Europeans. And unfortunately, and John has to figure out a way to save his wife, stop them from doing whatever the fuck they're doing. And it's a simple plot, but it's also unique in the fact that it takes place all in one building. I think it's one of the first movies I've really seen where not only does it take place in one location, but there's a lot of going up and down the building. They play with the building, the floors he's on. He goes up the building, he goes down the building. It's very video game-like in that way, honestly. To be honest, I'm shocked no one's made a video game out of Die Hard. Like, I don't know if they can't do it or what, but I mean, you could definitely make a stealth game out of this if you wanted to. I mean, it's in one building and might be a little narrow, but I'm like, I don't know, you can do a lot with a Die Hard game, but I digress. This movie is unique in the fact that it takes place in one building it's just, there's so much going on around it. It also has some of the most quotable lines in movies, in cinema. Iconic one being, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I mean, that one is just iconic, okay? No one will forget that one. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker is just, it just comes off the tongue. Hell, I got a Christmas shirt that says yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker on it. This, like, so that just tells you how big that line was. You also got, I got a machine gun, ho, ho, ho. You got, there's just a lot of lines in this movie. And there's just so many memorable characters and memorable moments. Obviously, the iconic moments of him climbing through the air ducts, which became so synonymous with the franchise. It's become synonymous with movies in general. Everybody, to be honest, every time you see an air duct, your brain goes, can I crawl through that? Every time. I can't crawl through an air duct in a video game without thinking about Die Hard. So that's how big this movie is. It changed people's perception. It changed the perception of Bruce Willis. It changed the perception of Alan Rickman. It changed the perception of what an action hero can be, what an action hero should be. It made it clear that you can have an everyman action hero be relatable. You don't have to have your heroes be these puffed up alpha males. You can have your hero be a dude who is just creative, has heart, guts, cleverness, experience, and he can overcome all those obstacles with that. Because that's what he does. There's nothing he does in this movie that's like, oh my God, I can't believe how could he have done that? It's like, no, dude, like if you were bad at, if you were like, I'd say a well-trained cop who was clever and who was a seasoned veteran, who was clever enough and in great shape, you could see all the things he was doing. Nothing he did was too over the top, which is crazy considering the type of movie it was. But there's just so many iconic things in this movie that if I went through the list of them, it would go on forever. Obviously, Die Hard gets a 10 out of 10. It's one of the greatest action movies ever made. Maybe the greatest action movie ever made. Frankly, man, it's a fucking great time. If you have never seen Die Hard, do yourself a favor and go watch it. It's on Hulu. Actually, all the first 3 movies are on Hulu. Go watch it there. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.